What's up, everybody, and welcome to Bios3 Raw TV. Today, we're going to talk about Big Ramy. Yeah, you guys, since I made the Phil Heath video, I got people saying, hey, well, what about Big Ramy? So how could I not talk about this guy? Plus, I think I've reviewed in my life just about every bodybuilder that's ever walked on the stage. And this guy's so new that I've never really broken him down. So let's see. This is my opinion on Big Ramy, okay? Now, many of you guys have seen him in pictures and videos, and I'll tell you what, in person, it's a whole different thing. I did see him in person. Now, for some reason, he is very much like Dennis James in the fact that off-season, or let me adjust this fucking camera angle, stupid camera. Off-season and leading up to a show, he looks really good. He looks better when he's fuller and not dieted down. Now, here you see this many times. There's a lot of guys in the gym, 3 weeks, 4 weeks before the Olympia look fantastic. They hit the Olympia stage or the contest stage and they look like shit, okay? And one of the reasons is why is by themselves, everyone looks great. If you're in your gym and you're the only bodybuilder competing there, more than likely you're going to look better than everyone else. You're going to stand out and people are going to be like, yeah, man, that guy's awesome. He should be pro. And then you put him on a local stage and he gets his ass handed to him and you're like, what the fuck happened? Because actually, you're not that good. When you get on stage next to other people that are, that's when you see all your flaws in what you're lacking in. That's when you realize, okay, not that good. Now, Big Ramy's one of those guys. By himself, he is very impressive. And size-wise, he's very impressive. He's a big dude. So, you know, he's got that little waist, wide, round shoulders, big arms, big legs, big everything. But he's so goddamn inflated from the inside out that he has no separations. And even his separations look a little strange. They look funky. You know, Paul Dillette had a similar look to him. However, Paul had much deeper cuts through his legs, his glutes. Like, it's a strange look on Ramy, and I don't know what it's from. People will speculate and say, it's from drug use, it's from drug abuse, he needs more time and muscle maturity. Look, Cutler, when he first started, okay, in 3 years, was a pro-level competitor. He didn't need time. Branch Warren, same thing. A lot of these guys, same thing. When you have it, you have it. Okay, Dennis Newman, same thing. Guy was phenomenal. You know, it just... they had it, okay? And then there's a guy like Craig Titus who, you know, obviously he's still in prison for killing that girl, but the more he went along, the better he looked, but he still wasn't one of the top guys. Now, Ramy is beyond that, and he's trying to be one of the top guys. Do I think he has the genetics to win the Olympia? No. I don't think he'll win the Olympia ever. I don't think we're going to see a whole lot of change in his physique in the next 5 years. That's just my opinion. He's not going to gain any more size because he's just going to look stupid. The cuts that are not there are not going to be there. Genetically, I just don't think they're there. And in person, it looks even worse than it does in magazines. And he looked like a big ball of muscle, but it was very funky looking, like there was too much muscle on his frame. As the muscle actually gets bigger and expands, a lot of these guys lose their cuts. And it's not because of a drug thing. It's because the muscle gets so damn big that the insertions and the striations and stuff actually start to get pushed together because there's nowhere for the muscle to go. So now you actually look worse. And I think that's where this guy's at. I think, honestly, he needs to come down to probably about 240. I think he was in the 270 to 280 range. Like 240 at his height. And see if he's got the cuts then. Because he doesn't have in the offseason. He doesn't have him in contest shape. The fact that he beat, you know, those guys at the New York Pro, I mean, a lot of those guys weren't hard. A lot of those guys weren't dry. They weren't at the level that, you know, the Olympia is. And honestly, I think there were other guys that should have beat him at the Olympia. I think it was a gift. I think he was a big name going in. There was a lot of hype, and they placed him above what they should have placed him at, you know? So, in my opinion, I don't think Big Ramy is everything he's cracked up to be. I'm sure he's a nice guy, and I keep hearing how nice he is. And he's got a cool physique to look at. Very cool, very good physique, great shape and stuff like that. But bottom line is, you know, people are talking about the muscle maturity. That's not what it is. It just isn't, okay? So, let's see in the next few years how he does and how he, you know, stacks up against the guys. But don't forget, now, there's also guys that are young, very young, that haven't shown up yet in the pro ranks. Two of such guys that I saw, Justin Compton and who's the other one? Dallas McHarver, which I don't give a shit who likes them and who doesn't for personalities or whatever. These dudes are in the 270 to 280 pound range, which is where Ramy is, but they're fucking hard already and dry and grainy. That's their off season. So now you're looking at guys like this that, you know, young guys, just turned pro, you know, like 22, 23 years old. Dallas, I think, is like 20 years old, that are improving, okay, and that are already that size and have the cuts and have the shape and have the genetics. You know, you could see one of these guys put together a package that blows right past this guy, Ramy, because size is not everything, and you see that. If size was everything, Kai should have beat Phil. If size was everything, Wolf should have beat Phil. It's not the way it works. It's the overall package. So unless Ramy gets his, striation fairy comes one night and blesses him with better striations and separations, I think that eventually what's going to happen is he's obviously going to push his body to the point where he'll go backwards like a lot of them. And I'll tell you right now, the one thing I don't like on his body, although it's full and round, it looks great when you're in the gym, it looks great in a shirt, is the synthol that's in his shoulders and other body parts. It was very clear on stage that when he hit poses, you could see where the deltoid was blown out from what they were injecting in there. I don't know if it's anabolic steroid site injections or if it's synthol, but whatever the hell it is made it look weird, smooth, and look even more awkward on stage. So there's a bunch of things to pick this guy apart, and only time will tell if he'd be good enough. biopsytraining@gmail.com. Leave comments down below. www.biopsytraining.com is the blog, and we're Big Ramy Review Bicep. We're out.